What does a potential employer that's coming to you to look for assistance, what do they need to take into account in the way they possibly change their views, or the most effective way to work with someone who obviously after the initial meeting they're probably not going to see again?
Well, it's quite funny that you would, obviously term it in the way employer. Oftentimes recently with the businesses that I've worked with, that I would say that there's two types. There are those who were employers, had these big teams, and they literally got sick of the complication of hiring and managing people. And they felt that that actually took them away from the core reason of their business, why they came into business in the first place. Right. So they often come to me when they've at this point where they've actually downscaled. So that it's only them, or maybe a fellow director, or maybe they're a team of 3, but they have no longer any interest in hiring. And that's when having a virtual assistant really comes into its own, because they are people who know what it's like to have to bother about sick pay, pension, tax, disciplinaries. They know all of that, and they come to me like, okay, I just need someone to do the job, but I just don't have the mental capacity or the willpower to deal with that side of things. Can you help? And that is the fantastic thing about virtual assistants. I think we've talked about this before. They are self-employed, so they look after a lot of things for themselves. And so when it comes to what should an employer or another business owner take into account, I would say really it's transparency, which is why it was a core value. Just maintaining that communication, being very clear with what they want. And I do appreciate that sometimes some business owners know they want something, they need help, but they're not quite sure where. And that's where our expertise comes in. And again, that's when the communication, that those first few meetings really are useful, just to hear the business owner's story. And you can always tell with creatives or any other kind of business owner, just through the conversation, I'm already like making slight notes, like I think I can tell where you might need some assistance there with the way your mind works. So it's again, communication, transparency. So those are the employers that obviously have had that experience. But again, there's business owners who have worked from the ground up and they are now at that opportunity. And sometimes it is just them. And they want to do it all themselves, reluctantly are realizing I can't do it all myself, because how can I be seeing clients whilst also doing my invoicing, whilst also doing this and that? They can't do it all. So they're at that stage in their journey where they're just looking for the kind of support they can rely on. Again, without that additional stress, but just so, again, they can scale faster.